Hey, what's up, everyone? This is going to be a review of PWG Battle Los Angeles 2011, and I'll just say this: it seems like Bola, even though this was a great show, it's just a single show tournament, which is the first time they've ever done that. In the past, Bola used to be such a big deal, like 2007, 2008. It just, they used to bring in about, 16 of the top indie guys and even some guys internationally, and this it just felt like such a huge deal. It seems like, with King of Trios getting bigger and bigger every year, and it just seems like Bola is just getting, it's just losing its prestige as, a big show tournament every year. And yeah, these shows are just coming up so fast. I can't believe it's here again. And to me, it just seems like they rushed it. Like, I don't know if anyone else really feels that way, but it just seems like they really. I think they just wanted to get it done before Hero and Claudio went to the WWE, so they could stack the tournament with as many big names as possible. So I'll just say that. But yeah, and at the same time, it felt like the kind of show that Ring of Honor could have put on anytime they wanted to. Because look at the tournament; it's filled with a shitload of ROH talent. So just wanted to talk about that. But even though I just said what I said, it's as a show onto itself, it's still really really awesome. It's I'm going to give it about an 8.5, which is a great to almost amazing show. So yeah, definitely check it out. It was a pretty sweet tournament, and even though we've seen Steen and Generico have the match at Final Battle, there's for some reason there's still a huge thirst to see even more of it, and I think PWG knew that and they capitalized on it and put together a pretty sweet tournament and a pretty sweet main event. So, all right, we start off with Chris Hero versus Willie Mack. Great opener. This went about 20 minutes. It got time. It kind of is kind of dragged at some points. I think it got a little bit too much time. It really did, but it was still really it really got the job done though. It was still really sweet. Hero wanted to have a match with Willie Mack and put him over before he left. But for some reason, their match at All Star Weekend got scrapped. So I really wanted to see the match between these two guys, and they both brought it. Hero was definitely more of the aggressor here. He really pretty much dictated the tempo, and Willie Mack was pretty much the baby face, and had more of the fans on his side, and pretty hard hitting action. Great athleticism from Willie Mack. Willie Mack is just showing he's stepping it up, and he's without a doubt one of the biggest and brightest names on the indies that should definitely have a shot in Ring of Honor without a doubt. Like I said before, but yeah, just a sweet finish. Hero actually was countered into a backslide by Willie Mack, and it was just an explosive finish, and the crowd erupted. So yeah, excellent opener, and I'll give PWG credit. They really, out of all the guys that I think needed the win in this tournament, I think Willie Mack was definitely a guy that should have been elevated, and I think getting a win over Hero was definitely got the job done. It definitely put him at least to some of the fans that might not know who he is. It definitely made him more credible. So let's move on to Finlay versus Kevin Steen. Fit Finlay in PWG. This is his debut match, and it was a breath of fresh air to see Finlay. I think on SmackDown in 2006, I thought Finlay was the MVP of SmackDown that year. I don't know, he just he's really not my cup of tea, but from time to time, if you're not really used to seeing his style, it's really just a breath of fresh air. He's just he's a great storyteller, and Vince McMahon even said that if he didn't sacrifice his personal taste for money, that Finlay would definitely be would have been the world champion at one point. So, Finlay, if you guys want to see a better Finlay match on the indies, and now that he's on the indies now, I think maybe at King of Trios you could do a Finlay versus Johnny Saint match. I think that'd be pretty interesting to see, actually. But, Finlay versus Kevin Steen, this was pretty short and, kind of methodical. Obviously Steen is in great shape compared to last year, but I don't think he's in the kind of shape where he can wrestle three 20-minute matches on one night. It's just a little bit too much to ask. So this is a little bit more slow. They kind of, worked to a really quick finish, but it was still a good storytelling match. Really good technical stuff here, and it was what it was. But it kind of left you wanting to see a little bit more from Finlay. All right, next up we have Claudio Castagnoli versus El Generico. We've seen a lot from these guys over the last couple of years, and this wasn't really something that I was dying to see again. But I was pleasantly surprised. It actually ended up being, I think, the best match they've ever had. Just this match probably had the best crowd of the year for any match. I mean, just a fantastic crowd from PWG in this match. They just were going crazy for some of the stuff they were doing. The match kind of started off kind of weird at first. There was a huge botch by Generico, or I don't know what happened, but Claudio fell on his head after a Hurricane Rana, and then Claudio got really pissed. Fans could just see it in Claudio's eyes. He was just pissed, so he just he gut run suplexed Generico 3 times in a row, and the match just got awesome. You saw beautiful stuff with Generico applying the brain buster, and then Claudio flipping him in midair and countering it into a European uppercut, and the crowd was just going insane for some of the stuff that they were doing. And then a sweet finish with Generico countering the Ricola bomb off the top rope into a sunset flip. So just a masterpiece. This is like a work of art. You're definitely the match of the night, and definitely the best match these two guys have had, which I think is saying a lot, because they are a really special combination. They have great chemistry. All right, next up we had Eddie Edwards versus Roderick Strong. Excalibur made a great point on commentary. He said that even though you guys have seen it in Ring of Honor a couple times this year, I think bringing it to PWG creates a whole different atmosphere. And without a doubt, I was excited to see it. I think Eddie and Roderick, even more so than Cena and Punk, have probably had the best series of matches all year. And out of all their matches, out of the 4 matches that they've had this year, this one in PWG is probably the weakest one. I know a lot of guys that don't like them, particularly a lot of Puro fans like AMCN1 and Daniel, will probably not like this match, but the bright spot about this that I know you guys didn't like from their other matches was that they wasted way too much time. This is a little bit shorter. Obviously, it's a tournament, so they couldn't waste a lot of time. So it was pretty, a little bit more faster paced. But I like these two guys. I think they have great chemistry. They just have it. I don't know what it is, and I would go so far to say that Eddie and Roderick, in some ways, was more satisfying than Eddie and Davey. So, but yeah, this match really just great back and forth action. They just tried to pin each other and go for the kill. I mean, you saw, Eddie Edwards applying the Achilles lock and Roger countering it into a pinning predicament. Then you saw small packages, you saw backslides, you saw just a lot of great counters and reversals. Just really exciting stuff to end the match. I just think these guys definitely have it in the ring. So definitely probably the weakest match. I'm probably overrating it, some people might think, but just barely a nice solid 4-star tournament match. All right, next up we had the Dynasty versus the RockNESS Monsters. So you got Joey Ryan, Scott Wallace, not Joey Ryan and Scorpio Sky, excuse me, taking on Johnny Newman and Johnny Goodtime. Just a fun match, featuring they're really doing a good job of building up the RockNESS Monsters. The fans really like them. They're a really entertaining tag team, and I think Scorpio Sky is a hell of an athlete, so it was good to see him here. And that's pretty much all I could say about it. Just nice, fun tag team action. So we move on to El Generico versus Willie Mack. Second round, semifinal match, and I'm gonna say this was just this is like a nice, solid, sweet television match. Obviously, this is the match where Generico kind of played it safe, and there's a little bit more comedy involved, which I really wasn't thrilled about, considering this is supposed to be a pretty big tournament. But I think Generico and Willie Mack in the future could put on some amazing stuff. So kind of a tease for what they could do in the future. But this is just a nice, friendly win to get Generico and move them on into the finals. All right, next up we had Kevin Steen taking on Eddie Edwards, the other semifinal match, and excellent stuff. These two guys used to be in that huge tag team feud in Ring of Honor, so it was kind of cool to see them rekindle the rivalry here. I think Steen was the guy that broke Eddie Edwards' elbow before Ladder War 2. So these two guys have a lot of bad blood. I don't know. I would have liked to see them play off of that a little bit more. There was some really, really sweet action here. They really brought it hard. This was pretty sweet, actually. They just super kicked the shit out of each other, and really good stuff. But Steen actually finished him off and made him tap out with the sharpshooter, which I wasn't thrilled about. We've seen Eddie go through wars with Davey Richards and Roderick Strong for 40 minutes, and to see him lose to Steen in 10 minutes from a sharpshooter, it's just you can't really buy into the finish. But I can't deny the action here. This is really good action. So next up, we had the Young Bucks versus Kings of Wrestling, which was really disappointing. There was a great promo before the match with Hero came out. It was kind of teasing the Bucks for Yeah, he's saying like you guys are claiming you're the best tag team in the world, but you just lost to Shark Boy and Eric Young at Destination X. So really cool promo, but you know, since Claudio and Hero, since the rumors have pretty much, you know, I don't know, it just seems like some of their matches, I'm not saying all of them, but just from time to time, some of the matches have just kind of disappointed me since the WWE rumors came about, and this is just very slow. It just, you know, I think with the Bucks and the Kings of Wrestling, I think these two teams, more so than anyone on the Indies, could really, you know, put on, you know, that amazing, you know, spectacle of a tag match. But for whatever reason, you know, they really never really got the chance to do that. You know, the last match in Ring of Honor at Salvation, you know, kind of went under the radar. And I'm just going to say, even the Salvation match was like a shitload of a lot better than this match. So this just goes to show you that how disappointing it was. It was just very slow. You know, you got your pretty, you know, cheap, heelish Young Bucks victory here. And you know, that's pretty much all I can say about it, though, man. Just really disappointing. I really felt like PWG dropped the ball on this. I think this could have been so much better. So I'm only going to give it about 3 1/4. All right, so let's move on to the finals. We have Kevin Steen versus El Generico. You know, for whatever reason, people just want to see more and more of this. You know, you know, the feud was just so nicely done, and that match at Final Battle. You know, even though in Ring of Honor this probably won't happen anymore, but PWG capitalized on it. I think they knew there was still a thirst to see more of these guys. And you know, you've seen it in PWG like in 2007 or whatever, but you know, you never really quite seen it in the new type of PWG atmosphere. So I thought that brought a lot of, you know, interest to this match and this tournament final. And I'm gonna say, you know, after this show, El Generico definitely puts himself into Wrestler of the Year contention because he had 2 awesome matches, and you know, to win Bola is was a nice career, you know, achievement for Generico, being that he is pretty much, you know, I would say like the biggest babyface and arguably the greatest wrestler in PWG history. But you know, as far as this match goes, you know, this is pretty much just a way to set up their ladder match. They're obviously having a ladder match at Steen Wolf coming up, which should be friggin' amazing. But yeah, it was really short. It was about 15 minutes of just fast-paced, hard-hitting action. These guys just, I don't know, it's just another combination, you know, and I don't know if the feud has anything to do with it, but they just bring the best out of each other. They really do. I just wasn't crazy about the finish. You know, it was on the outside of the ring, on the ring apron, on the edge. Steen was like groggy. Generico hit him with the Yakuza, and then he hit him with the Brainbuster on the edge of the ring apron. And it was pretty sweet if you think about it, but it just, I don't know, for a finish, I don't know. After the Final Battle match, you saw them kick out of everything, and just to see that as the finish, it kind of just left you saying, "What the fuck? That was it." But yeah. But for any other 2 guys, that would have been a legit awesome finish. Just kind of weird, but yeah, still a great tournament, still a great show. Running out of time. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. All right.